Hey, happy days. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with day 489 of documenting my journey as I transition from the offline brick and mortar world of business to the online world of business. And, the daily trials and tribulations of that. Sometimes I like to say the daily awesomeness of that. And most days it is awesome, but some days it's a major pain. I mean, I remember spending like 2 weeks trying to figure out some little technological thing on the computer one couple weeks. Sometimes it takes me a couple weeks to figure out a problem or a challenge that I'm having. So those days and those weeks aren't necessarily awesome. Sometimes they're very frustrating, especially after day after day after day trying to troubleshoot and figure out a problem. But I always figure it out. I mean, sometimes it takes me 2 weeks, but I always figure it out. So today I'm thinking about more changes and change in general. Guess what? Change, just like death, is inevitable. If we're not changing on our own terms, we're changing on someone else's terms. If we're not choosing and taking personal responsibility and taking, control and personal power and claiming our personal power and deciding and choosing what it is that we want for ourselves, it happens by default. Our lives happen by default unless we're intentionally creating them. So, there's so much change all the time around us. I've come to love and embrace and really enjoy change, and I get excited about what's going to happen and what's going to come up next. And I do the same thing with challenges and obstacles now and problems. I know some people probably think I'm crazy, but if I approach problems and challenges with curiosity and excitement and kind of some wonder, I get a lot better result than if I approach it with doubt, worry, fear, and dread. How do I know that? Decades of personal experience doing it the wrong way or doing it in ways that made me feel bad. So I can approach change in ways that make me feel bad, and I can procrastinate and I can push against them and I can feel bad about it. Or I can say, hey, what's going to happen next? This is awesome. And I can get excited about it, and I can understand that change is going to happen no matter what I want, no matter what I'm trying to get this kitty cat to not do. She's decided she needs to help me with videos today. She's been sitting on my lap for all of my morning videos. Isn't she cute? She's such a little precious. She's my lovable kitty cat. We actually have 2 cats. I guess I inherited 2 cats. This one was a little baby of a farm cat. She's adorable and very lovey. And the other one is a black cat who's very independent, and she will let you see her and touch her once a day. You can pet her once or twice, and then she's done. She's off on her own tangent. One thing about pets, they develop their personalities and they tend to be consistent and the same, and they don't change a ton, at least not in my observation. I'm sure maybe on the inside they're changing a ton, but on the outside they're not. So that's maybe one of the reasons we love pets. Definitely getting off on a tangent. We're talking about change. So how do you feel about change? How do you respond to change? And it could be change in anything or any area and aspect of our life. The way I discovered that I was really pushing against and having a hard time with change, of course, I probably always knew it, but I wasn't aware of it, was in my personal life and my relationships, and in my health and wellness was where I noticed changes the most. When I had health challenges, of course, you had to start paying attention. Otherwise, for the most part, I didn't pay attention to my health very much from probably my 20s on. I just didn't pay attention. It wasn't the highest priority. Well, it should have been the highest priority for me in my mid-20s, because I ended up having huge health challenges and health wake-up calls because I wasn't paying attention. But then you'd think I would have paid attention for the rest of my life, but of course not. I would go through streaks where I'd be really good about taking care of myself and my health, and then I would stop paying attention and my health would go in the toilet again, and I'd have a health challenge and a huge wake-up call, and then I'd pay attention to my health, up to and including a sudden cardiac arrest. In 2010, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died because I was going through a big, ouch, kitty cat, period of not paying attention to my health, stressing out, doubt, worry, and fear over change, massive changes that were going on in my life, to the point of shutting myself down totally. And that was my last, well, that wasn't my last health challenge. I'm lying if I say that. Because about 1.5 years ago, I had another health challenge when I couldn't walk. I couldn't get out of bed. And that one I got over really, really fast, because I knew what to do. After all these other experiences, I finally realized that change and challenges drive me, and that I could embrace them instead of pushing against and resisting them. And by not fighting the change or fighting the challenge and going with it and figuring out, okay, how am I going to go with this ride? You know, it's like if you go on a roller coaster. Excuse me, I got a cat here. I'm tickling my face now. It's like if you go on a roller coaster ride. If you brace yourself and you fight against it and you're terrified the entire time, you definitely don't enjoy the ride, right? But if you get on that roller coaster, this is me too, because I used to be scared to death of roller coasters and rides. Number one, they make me kind of motion sickness. And number two, they're just freaking scary. So I was that person. I would be just clenching and I'd be like scared. I'd have my eyes closed and I'd be just terrified throughout the whole ride for the majority of the ride. And then one day I decided, what if I just go with the ride? I was with my kids and I looked at their little delighted faces and I'm like, what if I just flow with it? What if I just go with this roller coaster ride? And ever since that ride, I have absolutely loved roller coasters. Now, I don't like spinning things that take me backwards and upside down and spin me all around because they do make me sick. But I do like the up and down of the roller coaster. I enjoy the ride. Just like I now enjoy the ride of change and challenges and obstacles and things that come up. And I know that no matter what, I'm going to figure it out. It might not always feel super comfortable. I might have to do some hard work. I might have to change my thinking and my beliefs, which is always the hardest work we ever have to do. Believe it or not, it is. But I'll always figure it out. So I am embracing change and challenges these days. And it's a good thing because there's a whole bunch of them coming down the pipe for me. I want to wish you an absolutely fantastic day. 90-day challenge, of course, working on that. Put out a couple of promotions for things that I absolutely adore yesterday that I don't normally share, but I've created big offers and bonuses and courses around them. So I'm like, why am I not sharing them? So I've shared a couple of those yesterday. Probably continue to share those for the next couple of days, and then I'll be quiet about them again because I don't share and promote a lot of stuff, but these are things that have changed my life, and I want to share them because I know how powerful they are and how much they can help other people, you perhaps. So I want to make sure that those get out there, the word gets out there. What else have I got going? Beautiful granddaughter, she'll be here actually any minute. So I'm going to say bon voyage, have a fabulous day, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow. Bye.